Thank you guys for coming, and I know that y'all may have talked with Patrick and Will as well. I know David had visited with you some too, and
Yes.
that's, we wanted to make sure we heard the options because American is
Absolutely.
our bank, so.
Yeah. I'm Bob Elmore, this is Eric Reed, we're with American National Leasing. I spoke with Jeff, I guess a couple of weeks ago. He told me what your plans were as far as your fleet cars, trucks, to get out of them, to get on a rotation, to change out the inventory that you had now. You want to get rid of some of them. As you know, right now, the issues with the inventory, with the GM, the Ford, the Dodge, it's kind of rough at this point, but you know, they can be ordered. They're out there. It may be, you know, mid-year before they come in, or maybe even the third quarter. Who knows? It just depends on what the factories do. Let's see. We just to go back to what Jeff and I talked about. We have a program that in with our leases that if you want to trade something in, you get us pictures, you get us, you know, a sheet showing a condition report. We'll turn that in. We've got people that buy them across the United States, Florida, California, Chicago. They give us bids on them. You go with the best bid. Most of them will come to your location, load them up, and take them away. And they do decommission your
Police vehicles.
Police vehicles.
And you're talking the whole spectrum. It doesn't have to be police. It can be a road and bridge pickup.
Absolutely.
The same way. Yeah.
It's also do with medium and heavy equipment as well?
As far as the maintenance on them, these vehicles, y'all own these vehicles. This is a lease purchase with $1 buyout. You own these vehicles, you can have them maintenance wherever you want to. If you want to have them done in-house, you're welcome to. If you want to take it to local dealerships, you're welcome to. It's up to y'all, because you own them. And I know y'all do everything through the buy board program, and we work with you on that. We've got a couple of examples here.
These will come through, Bob, either a buy board, a Sourcewell, a buy central cooperative.
Right. This is just an example. This is one with $1,000 down. You don't have to put money down. That's up to you. If you want to use what you sell your vehicles for that you're getting rid of, you can put that down. It just makes your payments cheaper.
Right.
As far as your upfit, we'll do 100% of your upfit in with your lease purchase. Then this is a 3, 4, and 5 year example.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This, I didn't know exactly what kind of vehicles that you were looking for. I knew that it was probably going to be a PPV, but when he and I talked, I called and got prices of this. This is just a 1500 crew cab.
We're essentially a local leasing program. We've been around a little over 20 years, and we deal with right now about 40 municipalities in Texas. And so that's our primary focus, is more customer service and getting the things financed. And then, of course, with your fleet, being able to, kind of like on the tractor earlier, being able to keep those newer models in service, so that we don't have the maintenance issues down the road.
Yeah. And in lieu, Judge, too, cash flow wise, on a note scenario where we've always got that, instead of outlaying the cash each and every year for the purchase, we're just the cash out of hand is the payment.
Yeah.
So,
And once again, when those units start rolling off, at the end of the term, we'll sell them. You can use what you got for that as a down payment on your next group that you buy to make the payment cheaper.
yeah. And was our full intention, Bob, originally, and then we just gotten sidetracked from and drifted away from, that was our whole intention to begin with when I believe the amount of purchase, was it like 20, Patrick, do you remember?
15 of the 2014 Tahoes. what we purchased.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was our full intention, and then we just got away, we drifted away. And like Barry said, he and I also, and COVID messed us up with our Caterpillar motor grader scenario, but that has always worked well for us to stay on that plan and cost us less money in the long run once you are fully engaged.
Yeah.
Well, and what we found now is, of course, you know, the price of motor graders, the price of these vehicles, the upfits, it's gotten so high, instead of paying $70,000-$80,000 in cash out of your budget for one vehicle, you can lease and get 3 and spend the same amount of money
That's
each
right.
year. And it's just, it's a good way to keep that fleet fairly new.
Well, and the last ones that you brought up, in 14 models, y'all paid $34,988 each for them upfitted. Now, one just like what you're talking about is $72,235.
Yeah. Yeah, and Patrick, what was those last ones all said, all done? Do you,
The 2020s?
what did we approve here just 3 months ago or so that you got, you found them really good in a slot?
Didn't we get 3?
Yeah, but then you cautioned me about the equipping those things, drove that up. Do you know?
It's right over 60, and that's for an admin package. That wasn't for a
Patrol package,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay.
Yeah, we saw a patrol package yesterday. We got a bid and it was in excess of 80 grand with an upfit.
And Patrick, when is the call made, like, if you're rolling through this program, is a 5-year-old vehicle here able to, the cage and stuff inside, is that able to be put on, or is it usually by that point outdated and won't fit?
Really depends on the manufacturer. Chevy has been pretty good about changing their body styles about every 4 years. So 5 years would be, no, not, the cages won't fit. But
You'd be
really, that's
outside
the
the
only
window,
thing that
probably,
won't.
yeah.
I'm sorry?
You'd be outside the window, probably.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if they change it by just an inch, it's just what happened with our 2014s and 2016s. They changed the body style by an inch and none of the cages could fit.
I would think you'd be able to transfer them doing a 3 to 4 year lease purchase.
Do we market those right now?
Do
Do
we
we
market
sell
them?
those when those cages don't fit, or we just store them in our warehouse and wait?
I haven't had to deal with that yet, so I don't know.
I'm just, There's a stack of them out there. I mean, it seems like we need to be proactive trying to market those, get them out there to, if we're changing, there's gonna be some counties somewhere that are still using those older ones.
Which we are too.
So-
We have a few
But-
of the 2014s that we've decommissioned because of one reason or another, but really the cages we have are mainly the Charger cages.
Chargers.
No one's
Yeah.
using anymore,
Yeah.
but those 2014s, we're back to having to make them run again and use them as best we can.
But I'm telling you, to utilize a guy like Bob's talking about that can come down and do assessment and then place pricing on these things, that's what eats Will and Patrick up. And I just know from the sale we did, it's consuming. And the last thing Patrick's really needs to be focused on is, hey, getting the old
Selling
cars
cages.
sold, and because it turns into a full-time job.
Yeah.
And
We
it's hard.
We had a program sometime, and I'm trying to remember how long ago it's been. We were selling some of those cars fully equipped. There was a market for them back, seemed like we were sending them back to the Northeast or something. And we found that it was cheaper to roll them out and sell them and not pull the cages. I think all we pulled was the radio.
And we
probably.
still do things like that.
Really?
And so.
There was a
you know,
market in some of these smaller
Yeah.
towns and
If
stuff.
they're putting fewer miles, for instance, on a smaller territory, if they're
Yeah.
putting fewer miles on these vehicles, they'll
Yeah.
take those older ones that are already equipped. Now, if you want to keep certain pieces of equipment off of those, you
Yeah.
obviously can. But yeah, we get pretty good competitive bids on those
Yeah.
because there is a secondary market.
I recall doing some of those in the past. It's been a while, but that was a good way to do it. And then you didn't have to go through the,
Yeah, and I had watched Henrietta here the other day. They talked about and bought offline a used car that they had found decent mileage and.
many years ago, we actually bought a couple of low mileage Crown Vics That was quite a while back, and we found them equipped and all that was.
A lot of
Sometime.
the guys that buy this stuff from you, I mean, they'll sell it to like little bitty towns or
No.
sell it to somebody that has a security company, something like
Right.
that they can use those for.
Right. Talk to us, Bob, about this money you've got down here, 675. Is that today, or would that be a?
This would be in a competition for the enterprise deal, is what we're saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So is there any way to, and I realize you did this just on the pickup, but doing this on like what Enterprise did, comparing all those vehicles, yearly cost, anything like that, have y'all done anything like that?
We haven't, I didn't know what all y'all wanted.
I mean, it's kinda hard to look at a 3, a 5, and you know, a 3, 4, and 5, one pickup.
Well, this,
Compare apples to apples to what we're looking at on the other end.
this would require us to say, okay, here's the fleet. We know we're turning it from 175 to 135. And here's what we want to, year 1, 2, and 3, turn loose of. We know that older vehicles is easier to pull to the front of the pack, and Patrick's gonna be the lion's share user, especially the first 3 years, really. It's not as critical for road and bridge, and we don't put near the miles on a vehicle like that, but to have it still tradable, we've learned this time what we sold, by having a vehicle that still finds itself marketable, it's valuable, you know, and so we can get good value for them and then get into a newer vehicle that we know we're not gonna have mechanical issues with because we've kept them too long.
I would say most of our leases, the lease purchase, they get out at before 100,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
To keep the value up.
Yeah. And that's what we haven't been
But we're still,
diligently
but
doing.
we would still be doing the purchasing of the vehicles.
Yes,
We're handling all the logistics part of it.
that's right, they're funding the program.